What is the first thing that you will do as soon as you get up? I think that answer is quite interesting. So if I was in the pre-mobile era, I would have said, I would wake up and I'd start brushing my teeth. But then we now wake up to our alarms on the phone, or look at our WhatsApp, look at our Facebook, look at our Instagram, look at our LinkedIn. But let me go back to pre-mobile era. First thing that we usually do is to brush our teeth, and that's been programmed. So it's a conditioned reflex. Everybody brushes their teeth. I think most of them, everybody, by the way. So why is that an important factor in our today's video is that most of us by default have been using the plastic brushes that come as a single-use plastic brush to us, and today this is an awareness video about a possible alternative that there is, and how you can reduce the overall plastic pandemic with a switch to the bamboo brush, the humble bamboo brush. So here, let me just get on to the first question that we have to answer. What happens to your plastic brush after usage? I think very important is that you should understand that plastic brush making is in itself a very interesting process. You need plastic, you need different grades of plastic to get a particular toothbrush going. The bristle is one part, then there is the holder that needs to be flexible enough to move with your teeth, move around your teeth, and it has to be in such a way that the lower part where you hold it in your hand needs to be a little more stiff and hard. And then there's a tongue cleaner. There are different structures that are there, different colors that come, and different you know shapes and sizes that come with it. And again, there's a paper packaging, there's a plastic packaging, there's again printing on top of it. So all of these individually, collectively also contribute to carbon emissions. We will not really get into carbon emissions for today. We'll get into the topic of plastic brushes as a problem, and why is it such a big menace. So according to a few statistics and a few things that I did check online, it's that generally only around 7% of all plastic that has been in production since the last 10 or 20 years, or even more than that, has ever been got to a point where it has been recycled. I will let that sink in for a minute. It's every day there's plastic being produced, and overall, across the world, only around 7% ever get recycled. So recycling is using plastic to make plastic. So recycling generally is that you use the same thing to make the same thing. So glass generally is essentially 100% recyclable. So you make glass with glass. So technically it's recyclable. Sometimes with certain grades of plastic, you can upgrade or downgrade certain things so that technically plastic is recyclable to a certain degree, but there are conditions that needs to apply. We'll not get into that in this video, but we'll stick to why plastic brushes are a problem. So many of us use it only for around 1 or 2 months. Sometimes, some of them even jump after 3 weeks or 4 weeks, they change the brush. So every time you change the brush, you put the older brush into the dustbin and you forget about it. So what happens after it goes to the dustbin is that generally, in a sense of speaking, is that it's collected from house to house. Many of the times in developed countries, let's put it that way, developed cities or developed countries, there is a system in place wherein dry resources are collected differently, and these needs to be collected from each and every home, and then they have to come to one place, and it's very difficult for these dry waste aggregators to really get to a point where it can be economically recycled, because the brush, like I said, is made up of different components or different grades of plastic. So it is very difficult and different colors. So plastic is basically, when it goes to recycling, they're color graded. So generally across formats. So color, all plastics of the same color needs to be at one place. If at all, it has to be sent to a recycling facility. So there are different colors of brushes that are coming in. All of them have to get to a particular grade, and there are many brushes where there are multiple colors. So every brush has to be basically cut to a point where the different plastic materials are put to different places. Otherwise, it becomes a really mess in terms of recycling. The bristles have to be removed. The bristle removing is different. So bristles, some of them are not BPA free nylon. So it's nylon is still also somewhere coming under, say, long chain polymers. But there are, if it's BPA free nylon, it's a little better. But bristles still are not 100% recyclable. So your plastic components are very, very, very different. So right from the 1900 or early nine or late 1900s, late 1800s and early 1900s, there have been plastic brushes that are in account. They are still in the earth as of now. So we are basically like consuming, but then we're not able to take that out. So it's basically, you continuing to eat, but then the digestion is not basically able to keep up to the pace with which we are producing. And since they are not recyclable, they are essentially in the earth. They put into landfills. They either go to rivers, they either land up in the ocean. Then they are mistaken. They get become smaller with photo say sun rays basically hitting them, or the water is basically coming, and there's a degradation that's happened slowly. So they're basically chipped off. These smaller chips are getting into the water bodies, getting into the soil, and they're basically going up the food chain somehow, and coming back to us as microplastic, nanoplastic, whatever may be the plastics that there are. So it is very, very important for us to get these plastic brushes off the market generally, and switch to a safer alternative, a better alternative, a sustainable alternative. The easiest option, I think, is to switch to bamboo brushes, and then there are other varieties of multiple brushes that are not plastic. So you could always go to that. It's this way. I have been using bamboo brush for, I think, the last 4 years, ever since 2017. I think 5 years, and I've been a huge fan of that. I've had my parents also convert to using bamboo brushes, and more than around 600 700 people who I've helped them make the transition, and continue to use bamboo brushes, switch off the plastic brushes. So in the video that you see, you can see that there are different colors of plastic brushes. Then the bristles have to be changed. The bristles have to be again also based on the color. So there's an orange one has to be separated. Then the orange color has to be separated. The white color has to be separated, and the top is of a different quality. The middle is of a different quality, where you get the zigzag material. So it is very, very difficult to first of all, get these plastic brushes to the point wherein they can be recycled. I think that's a big challenge in a majority of countries and a majority of locations. The next big challenge is again recycling and the economy of recycling. Sometimes there have been experiments where they've been tried to tried these plastic brushes have been tried to convert to biofuel, or polyfuel, sorry, not biofuel, polyfuel. It is a very ineconomical or non-economically friendly process. If you spend around 100 rupees for it, you may be getting around 20 or 30 back, which is ridiculous at some point. So the safest alternative is to go with bamboo, and bamboo brush comes around 4 months. And they come with BPA free nylon as bristles. The bristles are still somewhere a problem that we have to address, but it's a big advantage because we are automatically eliminating 90% of single-use plastic right from its source. So we can directly use these to reduce the plastic pandemic at its source. So this is one of the ways in which you can move from plastic to bamboo. And bamboo, for your knowledge, is a grass, not a tree. So you're not cutting down trees to basically get the bamboo brush going. So it's a grass. It grows. I think there are certain species that are used to make these brushes grow quite fast, and they have the lowest water consumption index in terms of many plants. And in a lot of places, in places that I buy from, that's Bamboo India, they actually are from rural farmers. They actually help rural farmers make a living, make an economy. So there are distinct advantages of using bamboo. So bamboo is still degradable. So you can basically put it near a tree, and then it can degrade over years. It's not going to be an immediate one. Let me be very clear about that. And the top part that you have the bristles could be broken off and then sent to the dry way, so that it will get uh, there's a higher chance of it getting recycled. So instead of 100%, we are able to only send, or 100% of plastic, we can actually reduce it to only 10% or 5% of plastic in every toothbrush. Just imagine, in a context like Bangalore, where there are lakhs of people, and in terms of Karnataka as a state, there are crores of people, and India as a country wherein there are billions and billions of people, and the world overall. So if even if a 2 or 3% of us switch to bamboo, and the others also go to other alternatives that have been in existence way prior to when the plastic brushes or toothbrush as a concept came into picture. And also, maybe as a side note, you can switch from toothpaste to tooth powder, wherein you're also eliminating a lot of packaging waste, and you're also eliminating a lot of plastic waste being produced from the source. And this can be quite a huge load off the waste management circuits that happen across the world. So I hope this video has been informative, and I definitely urge you to change from plastic brushes to bamboo or other alternatives, maybe wheat husk or whatever that comes, but essentially lean off from the single-use plastic brushes that come your way. I hope this video has been informative. If you like this, please like, share, subscribe, comment, and let me know that I'm doing a good job, so that I am more motivated to share such videos with you again. Thank you so much, and I have a great day. Bye bye.